President Trump is trying to rally Senate Republicans to push through more of his nominees and to push harder toward holding on to their majority in November. But there continues to be a separate push among senators for some kind of response to an insult against one of their own. Chief White House correspondent John Roberts is here with that story tonight from the North Lawn. Good evening, John.
Brett, good evening to you. Just a few minutes ago, the president returned here to the White House. He'd been up at the Walter Reed National Military Medical Center visiting with the First Lady as she continues to recover from a kidney procedure. Earlier today, he was on Capitol Hill spending time with Senate Republicans pushing his legislative priorities. President Trump came to Capitol Hill today with a lot on his mind. First and foremost, the slow pace of confirmations for his nominees. The president casting the Democrats as obstructionists who are standing in the way of getting his staff in place. But exiting the meeting, senators preferred to focus on what's been done rather than work outstanding.
We were all in a celebratory mood as a result of having approved the 21st Circuit judge just a few moments ago.
President Trump had a number of other items on his agenda to talk about, including appropriations, making sure he doesn't get more omnibus spending bills, funding for a border wall, and the latest developments with Iran and North Korea. The president will also again push Congress for immigration reform. This morning, he used the backdrop of the annual National Peace Officers Memorial Service to drive home the urgency.
That is why we are calling on Congress to secure our borders, support our border agents, stop sanctuary cities, and shut down policies that release violent criminals back into our communities. We don't want it any longer. We've had it. Enough is enough.
One topic that didn't come up, even though Iowa Senator Joni Ernst wanted to raise it, was the cutting remark White House staffer Kelly Sadler made about Senator John McCain in a meeting last week. A growing number of senators now saying Sadler, the White House, or both should apologize.
The person who said that should apologize and should apologize publicly.
If I had said that, I would apologize.
There are just things you don't say and shouldn't say.
White House staffers tell Fox News Sadler could have easily put the issue to rest by making a public apology to McCain last week. And according to sources, that was initially the plan. But the plan changed. Sadler dug in her heels, and 6 days later, the issue was gathering steam. In an effort to change the subject, President Trump made the insult all about the fact it was leaked, tweeting, "The so-called leaks coming out of the White House are a massive over-exaggeration put out by the fake news media in order to make us look as bad as possible. With that being said, leakers are traitors and cowards, and we will find out who they are." Sources say there were about 30 people in the meeting where the remark was made. Officials believe it was leaked simply to damage the president and that there will likely be repercussions.
I had several discussions with the president on this very topic today.
Do you expect personnel changes as a result?
I do. Actually, yes, I do.
Kellyanne Conway said that she thinks that a lot of staffers use leaks to try to, quote, shiv each other. And while leaks are a tried and true tradition here in Washington, D.C., this White House does seem to have set a new standard, at least for the volume of agenda-driven leaks. Brett?
John Roberts live on the North Lawn. John, thanks.